So welcome to Capital's July webinar. This is going to be on time management, including effective study habits for college. So here's an introduction of our hosts. I'm Amy Bryant, if you don't know me. This year I am serving as your Capital MD&E chair and the Public Relations chair at UNR.
And for those who don't know me, my name is Nikai Ramos, and I served as the Capital July DCM co-chair, the one that just passed right now, and I'm also the Sac City Club president for this term, and I'm continuing on from last term.
So throughout this webinar, we're gonna give you tips on how to stay organized, how to make decisions, and how to reduce the stress of all of life's commitments, which can become a lot in college. So first of all, I think it's really important to know everything you're committed to, because school is one of these commitments, but really it should only be part of your life. School involves classes, schoolwork, keeping up your grades, studying, and CKI, which can include leadership roles in addition to service. And this all sounds like a lot, and you only have so much time. So to help with organizing your commitments, it can be helpful to use a planner. I like to, for each month, I like to write down tests and CKI events. And then each week, I like to write down homework due. And then every day, sometimes I get so stressed that I need to write what I'm doing every single hour. And this may be like a calendar in the form of a whiteboard where you can decorate everything, or it could be in your phone. Like sometimes if I'm really worried that I'm going to forget something, I put it in my phone and then set reminders for every 15 minutes or something, and that can help too. Okay, so you should analyze and organize all your options on how you're going to spend your time. And you should create priorities based on potential outcomes and your motivations for what you're doing. So what you want to do is in order to use your time wisely, you want to minimize your opportunity costs for, say, going to a concert. If your alternative is sitting at home and watching Netflix, then maybe you want to go to the concert. But if the other thing you'd be doing is studying for your final, you should probably study for the final. Rank your commitments by importance in short term and in long term. Something might seem really important right now, but other things like studying for your classes can have more importance in long terms towards getting your degree and getting a good job later on in life. And people always say you should balance all your commitments, but that doesn't mean that you should give everything the same amount of time, personal care, homework, schoolwork, work. So just make sure to know what's important for when.
One thing you guys also want to do is just set goals in general and plan. This goes sort of along with the last slide, but this is just going more in depth of just setting goals and planning. So one thing you can do is set SMART goals. So SMART goals, for those who don't know, it stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based. These are the ideal ways that you can plan out your assignments, plan out your day, plan out anything part of your life, pretty much. So one example of sort of a not SMART goal is actually, I am going to do well in my classes. Sure, you might do well in your classes, but you want to set sort of a little bit more realistic. It doesn't mean you're confident, which is good, but you just need to set more specific, measurable, attainable, relevant stuff. An example of an approved goal would be just next semester I'll get an A in biology, biology 191, and hopefully get a 3.5 GPA overall. That's more specific rather than just I'm going to do well. Another point is to just plan. Honestly, really just plan. If you have a planner and you like using it, then use it. Personally, I don't use a planner. I use stuff like setting reminders on my phone because I look at my phone way more often, especially for those who know me. um, and I look at my syllabus and um, I put in all my assignments throughout the entire semester if my professor, of course, does that. If they include it on the syllabus, that for me is actually a really good method. It works for me at least. So if it works, do whatever works for you. Don't jump in too quickly. Don't worry about getting things perfect. You don't have to be extremely perfect. You don't have to achieve all your goals, achieve all your plans, but at least it's ideas, and you have to at least try to be committed to doing it. So in order to really do that, ask yourself, how will I even achieve my goals? So do the little things like use apps or use your reminders app on if you have an iPhone, or if you have a reminders app on an Android phone, any phone really. So an example could be I will study biology for about 2 hours every night and physics for 1 hour every night. One thing that you really want to remember is to stick with that goal. Don't just procrastinate or don't feel even if you feel lazy, just get up and actually just study your homework, for the midterm tomorrow or anything that you have that's due in the next day or so, you know. So on that, we'll go to the next slide. One thing that you really this is sort of a no-brainer, honestly, but more people do it. Like people do it way more often than not. I am guilty of that as well. But don't procrastinate. Use your free time wisely. You have a lot of free time. Some people have a lot of free time. Let me change that. But again, use it wisely and try to plan ahead if you can. Don't just use that free time to just sit around all day watching Netflix or sit around sleeping all day. Of course, sleeping is good for your health, but at the same time, you don't want to sleep all day and miss the entire day and miss all your responsibilities, so on and so forth. So if you have free time, use it wisely. And if you don't, that's fine. Just be productive and efficient and practice your good study habits. So find a good place to work to where you can avoid distractions. So if you get distracted working in the kitchen of your home because of family or roommates, whatever the case may be, then try to find a different place. If you work in your room and you easily fall asleep, work somewhere else. Completely close off all distractions if you can. YouTube, Netflix, social media. Put your phone on do not disturb, and so that you can really focus on your homework, on your assignments, on your studying. One thing that I actually do is I actually just usually do all my homework and my assignments in the library of my school, and I usually go to the quiet floor, which for me is the third floor. So that's actually a really good way for me to do it. Do whatever works for best for you. Take breaks, get up, walk around, check your phone if you want, have a snack. You don't have to study hard for 12 hours every day. You should take some breaks so you don't overwork yourself, of course. And if you can, multitask effectively and also create a study plan and find what works best for you. Everybody's different. Some people have similar study habits. Some people have completely opposite study habits. So just find whatever works for you. Work with a study group if you want. Maybe it'll help you focus better. Maybe it'll help you do more work better. Then if that's the case, then go for it.
Okay, and with that, multitask effectively would mean or would not mean like Netflix and homework at the same time, but it could mean like listening to music while you run or something, or studying, I don't know, while you do something else, but it's the Netflix and YouTube and social media don't go well with homework. Okay. So how Circle K can fit into your busy schedule? Because I know this is that we all have lives outside of Circle K, and yet we want to become more involved. And I think one of the great things about Circle K is that you can put as much time into it as you would like. Um, and I say we'd love for everyone to get like a lot of service hours, but we understand that you have other obligations. Um, and if you can't make it to an event, just let the event chair know in a timely manner, and they'll be okay with it. Just don't like drop out last minute. Or if you're like the event chair, you shouldn't drop out of that either. Um, and consider all the different ways that you can become involved. Say you don't have time for a board position, consider joining a committee. And also, if you do have a board position, um, having your committee help you and delegating tasks to them can really help you as a board member to have more time and not be stressed out by everything you have to do. Okay, balance is necessary. So you can't do everything at the same time. You may want to apply for a new on-campus job, and you might have you might be taking more than 17 credits, and and also Circle K might just be one of your obligations, and so you have to make decisions. Um, And yeah, we can't all be Hermione to control time. I know we all wish we could do that, but if you try to do too much, it's not going to work or may not work.
One thing you should definitely do also is just take advantage of all the resources you have. So as I've said earlier, I use my library most often to just do all my homework, all my assignments, even if I don't have any assignments that's due with soon, then I do CKI work or I just hang out there. Usually, if I'm alone. Um, so most campuses have different resources as opposed to others, but they do have a lot of them have just several resources in general that you pay for as part of your tuition. So it's free to you, honestly. So use your tuition wisely with these resources, such as like a university tutoring center or a math center, a writing center, health center, or even a counseling center. The counseling center, usually most people go there either if you want to talk about your classes, if you want to set up a education plan to plan out your semesters at your given school, or even if you're stressed, honestly. Counselors are there to help you. So of course, take advantage of that. Take advantage of all the resources that you have at your school, such as like a gym or just a 24-hour library if you have one. Do that. Health is very important. I want to stress that really, really much. Or sorry, I want to stress that a lot. That was terrible grammar. But this goes along with balancing your work. This goes along with don't spreading yourself too thin, pretty much. You can multitask if you want, if you can, but don't overwork yourself. Don't overwhelm yourself from all the assignments, from all the due dates, so on and so forth. You need to maintain motivation to all aspects of your life, pretty much, whether that's 1 or 10. So if one commitment is actually starting to affect either your health or your ability to really communicate with others, like if you're starting to ghost some people or if you're not spending as much time with your family as you should, whatever the case may be, then start to reflect on that. When all of them, so notice when one commitment is beginning to affect others, honestly. So if you're doing a lot, if you're fully immersed in Circle K, if you're an e-board officer or even an A-board officer, whatever the case may be, and it's starting to affect your grades at school, you should start to reevaluate your priorities. So maybe cut time with CKI a little bit. You don't have to fully cut all ties. You don't have to ghost everybody on your board or in your club for that matter. But limit the stuff that you're doing for Circle K. If you need time, let your friends know, let your officers know, let your president know. And I'm sure they're more than willing to work with you and to help you out if you need. Um, so talk. There's also the 7 dimensions of wellness, which Amy can actually go over because I don't remember what the 7 dimensions are. But also ask for help if you need it. Honestly, it's okay to ask for help. You don't have to do everything yourself, whether it's for Circle K, whether it's for work, whether it's for school. If you need help with an assignment for school, like a math assignment or whatever, then go ahead and ask somebody. Try to, or if you need help balancing some things, ask somebody for help. Talk to somebody that you trust. Talk to a very close friend or an adult or somebody, whoever you need to. But please don't overwork yourself because health is very important. Don't lose sleep over school and CKI or work, even though we all do anyways. But it's not a good thing at all.
Yeah, adding on to that, there's really no shame in asking for help, because there's a lot, and there could be so many other things going on in our lives. The 7 dimensions of wellness include physical, emotional, intellectual, social, spiritual, environmental, and occupational. And honestly, like all of these are important, like equally important. And if you're too stressed out and too busy with everything that's going on, like all of those could like be harmed. Okay, and moving on. Oh, conclusion. Okay. So, um, overall, I just want to say manage your time and stay organized, and that'll help make college life less demanding. Um, yeah, so your health is important, and take care of yourself, and please don't be afraid to ask for help. If you have any questions, well, we'll look in the chat in a minute. And if you have other questions, our emails are right there. The sign-in sheet, the link will be provided in the next few minutes.
Sign-in sheet will be posted on the event page as well as the comment section. I'll post that in a minute or two. But yeah, of course, if you have me on Messenger, if you have my phone number, even email me, go ahead and ask me any questions that you have. If it's outside of this webinar, but we can go ahead and ask questions now if you like, and Amy and I will try to answer them as best we can. But to reiterate what Amy said and what I said earlier, just do whatever you can to manage your time wisely, stay organized, and this is to help make college a little less difficult for people because a lot of people stress from college, and it's not really a good thing. But yeah, it's take care of yourself. Do what you can to take care of yourself. Don't be afraid to ask for help from anybody, not even just me and Amy. But yeah, if you have any questions right now, go ahead and ask. I'll look at the chat right now. If you have any questions that we didn't go over, at least. So Monica asked, what can be done to help officers time manage? Honestly, just share the workload. Share the workload as best you can with other people. You don't have to do everything yourself. I think I said earlier, but if you're a secretary, you need help with the MRF, like to help get it done on time, or you need help with the MRS, if your job is to also work on the MRS, then totally ask for help. Ask your president or ask your fellow board officers, whether it's E board or A board. They're willing to help you. You utilize committees if you have any. If you're a VPA and you have your A board officers, utilize them to help you out a little bit. Utilize your president to help you out. If you're in a committee for a division or just part of your home club, then then totally delegate tasks to your committee members, so you don't, of course, do everything yourself. Because now not everybody is meant to. Well, nobody's really meant to do everything by themselves. So, but yeah, utilize your committees. That's what they're there for. That's what your officers are there for. That's what your committee members are there for. They're there to help you. They're to help you to succeed. Everybody wants you to succeed, honestly. People want you to succeed. They want you to just do well with whatever the event is that you're planning, or whatever the form is that you need to turn in, so on and so forth. So ask your board, ask counterparts if you have any. Like if you're a secretary, ask other secretaries within the division. If you're president, ask other presidents within the division, or even within the district. Talk to anybody. So thank you, Monica, for asking that question. Do we have any more questions from anybody? Do you have any more questions from anybody?
Okay, so one of the questions was how many hours of sleep is enough for each of us? And it said that like 8 hours of sleep is enough, but for our age, you should actually have closer to 9 or 10, which is like, I know way more than what we're getting. Um, do we have a balanced sleep schedule? Um, no, for sure, no. I like to think that during the school year, I'm like proud to say I can function on little sleep. But yeah, no, I can't. And I know I do way better in school when I'm well rested. Um, um, eh, my only advice for that would be like if you have a chance to go to sleep early, do it. But if you don't, then you have to get your stuff done and just try to get things done earlier than in the night and just avoid distractions and hopefully you can get stuff done at a reasonable hour.
This goes along the lines of procrastination, or you shouldn't procrastinate. Do everything you can to try to get your assignment done early, such as maybe a couple days before. There's a method that I was taught, which is the 48-hour rule. Which so when you get assigned something to do, whether it's an MRF due on the 5th, which is actually a couple days from now, or something for just your board or for your club, or even for work or school, do it at least 2 days beforehand, before the assignment is due. If you want, you can just do it as soon as you get that assignment, if it's like a week before or so on and so forth. So I try my best to follow that rule. Sometimes not gonna lie, sometimes I don't follow through with that. But yeah, I do what I can to I do my best to get my stuff done on time and early if I can. But yeah, don't procrastinate. If you're working, if you're studying for your home, if you're doing homework or studying or anything along those lines, and you're feeling tired, then go to sleep. Honestly, it's a no brainer, but legit go to sleep, because you really don't want to sacrifice your sleep. You don't want to pass out in the middle of the day because of lack of sleep. But or yeah, you don't want to pass out. Honestly, you don't want to sacrifice your health for school, for your grades. Grades are important, but your personal health is way more important, to be very honest. Because yeah, school will be there, and even if you don't get the grades that you want, at least you're healthy. At least you're not sacrificing your health. At least you're not getting yourself sick or any of that. So you can always retake the class if you need to. I wouldn't recommend retaking all your classes, but yeah, if the class is becoming too damaging on your health or your sleep, then try to, if you can, drop it if it's not working out for you. If your grades aren't working out, if your health isn't working out because of it, then yeah, drop it. But yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like your grades will only take you so far in life, but like you got to take care of your body because that has to last you way longer.
I know y'all have other questions to ask.
Any other questions?
So David Nguyen asks, how many hours do you often study for each class per week, especially when there's a test coming up? Do we have any study tips? So personally, I honestly don't really count how long I study for, but I usually do what I can to get the assignment done, like right then and there, like in maybe not in one sitting, depending on the assignment and how long it is. But I do what I can to finish as much of it as I can in the time that I have, whether it's at the library, because the library closes at 9 p.m. at my school. So if I have only a couple hours to get what I can done, then I'll just stay there for as long as I can until they kick me out. But if I'm at home studying or working on um, on any assignments, then I pretty much do what I can until I'm tired, until I feel tired. But it's about maybe a couple hours or so, a couple hours, 3 hours a week. Not sorry, 3 hours a day, not a week.
Um, well, if you want a guideline for that actually, it said that for every hour of college lecture, like in class time, you should have about 2 hours at home that you're spending and per week. So if you have a 3-credit class that meets for 3 hours every week, you should be spending 9 hours outside of class on that, or like 6 to 9 hours. Um, but I know that's not really reasonable for most of us because we have other things to do. And I think just as long as you set a good amount of time per day, so it feels like you're accomplishing something, then that's good enough. Okay, do we have any more questions?
So Joey Pontius actually gave a tip for himself that he usually does. So I'm going to quote him for this. Personally, I like to do the 50-10 study method, in which he studies for 50 minutes with a timer, and then has a 10-minute break, also with a timer. He tries to do a minimum of 3 rounds a day every day, with about 5 days prior to whatever test he needs to take. That's actually a very good method, honestly. I never thought about that, but yeah, if do whatever you can that works for you. Honestly, if something, if you do something, no wait, if you have a method that you like to use, or if it seems a little unorthodox but it works for you, then do it. Then go for it. If it doesn't affect your health, if it doesn't affect your grades, then it works. Honestly. Any other questions, guys? So Jared Mika asks, um, wait, what is an ideal way to deal with people who make you carry the weight of a project, whether it's a big project or time consuming in general, other than talking to them and talking to your professor? Actually, a very good question. Personally, for me, I would end up just doing the work myself, depending on the class and if I really want that grade. If I really need that grade, then I would just honestly just do it myself. But if it's a huge project and it's time consuming, then maybe I'll just ask people outside of that group, maybe outside of the class, to help me out a little bit. Um, Especially if I'm under a given deadline, or if I'm under a time crunch, like a day before or 2 days before. But yeah, if you are able to do the work on your own, then I would say by all means do it. But just make sure you weigh your options for that. If you have any other options to do, then definitely do that. You have any tips, Amy?
Yeah, I'd say like if talking to the other group members or partner in the project and the professor doesn't work um and you really ask them multiple times and say, look, you haven't been helping out and I really need your help to do this because this is a group project. And if you end up doing it on your own, just remember that the project or the assignment is there for a reason, which part of it is working together. But if you end up doing the work, you're going to be the one who's more prepared for the test. You're going to be the one who's more prepared for the final, or you're going to know the material better. And so it's really that person's loss. And hopefully the professor can see that you're the one who put the work into it.
Joey has a lot of good tips, honestly. He's also said that as he's had to deal with this multiple times. considering every one of his classes includes pretty much a group project, you're either in luck because you get to choose your partners, or you are unlucky because it's just random and your professor picks for you. But do we have any other questions? We have about maybe 10 minutes left of the webinar. We'll probably do maybe 5 more minutes. Don't be shy, guys. These are all very good questions, actually, by the way. So don't be afraid to ask your question. There's no dumb question, honestly. So whatever you have in your mind right now regarding the webinar, go ahead, feel free to ask us. All right, Joe, you ready? There's no dumb questions relating to this webinar. I know you all have questions. If you don't have any questions, do you guys want to share some tips that you use for yourselves, whether it comes to work or school or Circle K? Go ahead and post your tips if you want to do that. All right, so give it about 1 more minute if you guys don't have any more questions. You have about 15 more seconds, and then we'll close up shop.
All right, well, thank you everyone for coming to this webinar, and please reach out to either me or Nakayo if you do have any other questions that you'd like to talk to us privately about. And the sign-in sheet will be posted on the event page in just a few minutes. All right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.